Good morning. It is time to skip the BS. It's time for Undisputed. It's time to talk about a podcast called The Edge that all too often sends me over the edge. It's time to talk to Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson about more controversial podcast comments made by Micah Parsons, who reacted to Jerry Jones' declaration that the Cowboys will go all in this offseason by saying this, and I quote, "Yeah, they're talking about how we're going all in this year. Man, that's what I would hope for. I'm 24 years old. I've been in this league 3 years, and I've kind of seen it all. I hope we go all in. I hope that we go out and get the players that we're missing because we didn't do that this year. I hope that we challenge ourselves to become better and become greater for us." Okay, I don't love all of that, but I'm going to start with my man Michael Irvin, who wasn't here the last couple of days as we talked about the Jerry Jones quotes. But Michael, how do you interpret what Micah said on his podcast?
Well, some I concur with, and then some things I'll just have to try to discern. But some things I do concur with. Like there have been opportunities, and we've come out here plenty of times, and we talked about it. There are players out there that could probably help the Dallas Cowboys. We talk about how they can help the Dallas Cowboys, and ultimately Jerry doesn't. He talks about maybe going to look into these players, but he doesn't go and do it. And just getting sometimes a player that you know is in an area of need can lift your team and say, in the whole building, now you see everybody's all in. They haven't done that in a long time in Dallas. They haven't got out and got a real game changer of a player.
Are you talking like at trade deadline?
At trade deadline, okay. And that's what he's talking about, at the trade deadline. Yeah, okay, we've seen enough now to know what you're missing. Let's go and try to fill a piece. Find a hole and fill a hole. Get a piece that'll make a difference on our football team. You could have got anybody to help our run game this year. That's a hole that the Cowboys need. You can find anybody to help stop them. Just at least inquire about it. And he's right in that sense. Now, I like what Micah Parsons also said when he talked about he was embarrassed. He was embarrassed.
Yep.
He didn't want to be out. He didn't want to come out. He didn't want to be around.
He said he didn't want to go out in public.
After seeing that, I like hearing that. I think we got one player, maybe two players like that on defense. Maybe Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, but I need all 11 of those jokers to be this way. I need every player to be embarrassed when you put that kind of thing on display in this kind of situation. I honestly hate that we're talking about it. My scars and pain is still, I'm still in the midst of them. There's so much gloom in Dallas right now. I was looking forward to getting back here. Yeah. The gloom is it's overtaking me in Dallas, so I'm still not over it. But I hope Michael Parsons understands this. And here's how this is going to come back at him that he probably is not thinking about. We were just up here talking about the kind of number Michael Parsons will be looking at because Nick Bosa just signed for $34 million a year, $33.333, whatever, $1 million a year. Michael Parsons is going to be looking to move past that number. And people are going to say, now, remember, you said all in.
Yeah.
Where is that home court discount?
Yeah.
Discount?
I'm just saying.
Please.
I know you. I see how you look at it, Key. I know you ain't never believed in that like that.
No, I'm going to give you the discount. I'll give you the discount on my second veteran re-up deal, not on my first.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, you get the second discount on the. You get the discount on the second re-up.
I guarantee this comes back up again.
No, it probably will.
Because he mentioned all in, and everybody's going to talk about going all in.
Yeah.
I hope Jerry does that though, and I do agree. I hope Jerry does. If somebody's out there to go help that run game, you knew you needed some help in the run game last year. You could have made some kind of move, any kind of move, indication saying this is what we're going to try to go do. I hope he does it this offseason. I hope he goes looking to a Derrick Henry to say, come on, let's try to put some more fire or put another hammer back in this offense. I hope he goes and look at Mike Evans. Since I'm not moving offensively, I stayed packed with my offensive coaches. Then I'm going to get me an extra player that can do something no matter what the situation is. And Micah Evans has had success no matter what quarterback is with him. That's what all in is for me.
What is all in, what Jerry was saying? is all in going to get other players, or is all in paying the players that you have?
And that's the all in he was talking about.
Right? Is it paying Dak Prescott? Yeah. Is it paying CeeDee Lamb? Is it paying Micah Parsons and whoever else might be up on smaller type deals? Is that what he means all in? Or does he mean what Michael is talking about, Skip, which is we had the opportunity before the trade deadline, at the trade deadline, and even after the trade deadline to find some acquisitions that's on the streets that could potentially come and help us out. Earlier in the year, we kept talking about they need another receiver other than CeeDee, others. They brought in Martavis Bryant. We was like, okay, but he never played. Never played. We talking about they need a big back. They need a big back. Go trade a guy. They never acquired. They never did any of that. Oh, they need maybe a safety. They didn't need one because the Eagles got one, so we figured, okay, well, maybe they could find one. Oh, they need a linebacker. They need a linebacker. They kicked the doors open on a linebacker, but then he went to Philadelphia. Maybe that's what Micah Parsons is talking about. I'm okay with him saying that. There's no question about it. If he's there and he's looking and seeing there's certain things that's missing that could potentially help the team out, I'm okay with that. But now here comes the flip side, similar to what Michael is talking about. People are going to look at that big number, not take a discount as far as a big number goes, because I don't want him taking a discount. I want him to get as much money as he can. Take a discount 7 years from now, not right now.
Okay.
Okay, because on your first deal at $17 million for 4 years, it's a lot of money. But that, for an athlete, isn't life-changing the way the second deal is.
Right, no doubt.
So when you get the second deal and the life-changing money, now you could, okay, I give you a hometown discount.
Key, that's you up here talking because you have been in it. But those out there looking and hearing it, they don't know that.
Well, that's why I said what I said. For an athlete, it's not life-changing. Okay? It's not.
Right.
Because there's taxes.
If you really invested it.
Well, I'm going to give you the real, but I'm giving you the young, real perspective on that number. You got to cut it in half. You got to give your agent his money, your PR person,
And
so when
your
you break
family that's been waiting on you to just mature like a stalk. You got to give them theirs too.
And you would be lucky, Skip.
And you're going to splurge a little. You're going to buy yourself
something.
Come on,
man. I live in a two-bedroom apartment with 6 people and roaches. I'm not about to sit up here and act like $17 million is getting ready to change my life.
There weren't any roaches out here in L.A. They always say, I don't know.
I don't know about roaches.
They're around. Trust me, roaches and rats. But anyway, what I want to get at.
I'm thinking about my first date. I took my wife out on. We were in a Toyota Corolla. The bottom of the car was out. Her shoe fell on the highway.
What?
I turned around and said, I'm going to go get that, baby. I just stick with me now. As soon as I get in the league,
shoe fell through the bottom of the car?
We're talking about where we're coming from.
Yeah,
I didn't have, it was no bottom in the car.
I had a car like that. I had a mat on mine. I had a mat over the top of mine.
Me too.
Yeah, I had a mat
and
over
she
the top.
must have moved it and the shoe
Because
fell
what
out.
happens-
I said, oh, God.
Okay.
Because of the metal, obviously, it gets all rusted.
Eroded
and
away.
eroded away. I had what, Michael?
Okay.
I sure did as a kid.
And what happened when you got your first Cowboy deal? Did you buy a car?
Me and her a car. Yes, I did.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
To speak about the money, okay, he'll get whatever, $37 million a year average, whatever that number is. People are going to look at that though and say, "Well, wait a minute, man.
That's funny.
Your postseason success. You 1-3. You got 1 sack in 4 postseason games. They gonna point to that. They ain't pointing to save, discount, help the Cowboys. Because Jerry got more money than God. The Cowboys have been one of the best teams at manipulating the salary cap.
But Michael Parsons ain't going to be talking today. He's going to be talking to Jerry. And I have been in those negotiations with Jerry. And Jerry, Nick Bosa's money at 30 to 34, I remember Jerry Rice was the highest paid. And I went and talked with Jerry, the same thing. You know what Jerry said to me? He said one time, Nick Bosa, or in this case, Jerry Rice, he has to pay state taxes. Mike, you're going to be the highest payer.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
I said, Jerry, that sounds real good. Let's stop playing. He's going to try all of that.
You can do
He's
that.
not talking to people.
But
Michael Parsons is going to be talking with Jerry Jones.
That's fine.
That's all I'm saying.
But Michael Parsons also got representatives that they want to get the most because they're going to get what they need to get off the top, too.
And they want their brand.
They want theirs. So when you look at, they're going to be looking at the postseason success. Another thing that I did not like about what Micah is saying, you've been in the league 3 years. You have not seen everything.
That's what he said.
You
I've
have
seen it
not
all?
seen it all.
No.
You've only been in the league 3 years. When you get to 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, now you've seen it all. You've seen it all. 3 years, you ain't seen it all.
3 years as a Dallas Cowboys, like 6 or 7 anywhere else.
This is why I attacked you, Michael, and I attacked Skip. Because it goes back to the brand of the Dallas Cowboys and all the yeast that's put on top of it. It does not work like that. Micah has to just look, man. He's got to figure out how to become a major difference maker despite double teams, despite chips, despite all of those sort of things.
I agree.
Because people, you're the guy. You are the guy of the team. When I think of the Dallas Cowboys and that defense, I think of number 11. I don't think about no damn Diggs. I think about number 11. I don't think about Lawrence. I think about number 11.
You don't even think about Deron Bland.
No, I do not.
Setting the record for pick sixes.
No, I do not. I think about number 11.
You do.
When I watch the Dallas Cowboys
I watch
defense,
11.
I'm looking to see
fixated.
I'm getting ready to see what 11 gonna do.
Where is 11?
Is he gonna split the double team?
Yeah.
Is he gonna spin move? Is he gonna close?
Is he on the edge or lined up in the A?
That's
or the
what I'm
B
looking
gap?
for.
Okay.
And that's the reality of it, Skip. So he's gotta know these things when he's talking like that.
Okay. I've gone back and forth lately with Micah, and from my heart, I want to love Micah Parsons. I'm trying hard to love him because he is a gifted young man.
Yes.
And there are stretches over these 3 years when I have been literally in awe of how he can impact and terrorize an opponent because he can wreck a game. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes, but I haven't seen it consistently down the stretch of the last 2 seasons because he probably doesn't have quite his man body yet, and he does get beaten up and worn down. He's still 245-ish pounds instead of 265. And for whatever reason, his sacks and his impacts start to fall off down the stretch. So here's the problem. Against Green Bay, just statistically, he had his worst pass rushing game of his career. I'm just talking about raw numbers. And that's all I have to go on. My eye test told me he did get 2 early holding calls, and that's big credit to him because he was getting none, but he did force those things to happen. But obviously they were down 27-0 before halftime, and you and I are just like drowning in it, and we don't even like to talk about it because it was...
I'm still not well.
It was beyond incomprehensible that the Dallas Cowboys could lay that big of a playoff egg at home with the 2 seed against the 7 seed with potentially back-to-back playoff games, the second one against the Detroit Lions, who we, by hook or crook, had beaten before, and we surely could have beaten them again to get back to our first NFC Championship game in, these 28 years. And that happened. And after that game, Micah Parsons ducked. He did not speak to the media. You and I both talked about going into this season, this was a crucial coming out season where he would take the team over on and off the field, where he would become the leader of the team because he's the best player on the team. And he ducks the media after the game. And I did not love that. So he waits a week and then he speaks on his podcast, which obviously is unchallenged. So you're not talking to the reporter, so nobody can cross-examine a quote like this where you say, we got to get the players that we're missing because we didn't do that this year. And we sit here and say, well, what exactly did you mean? Are you talking about the trade deadline or before the year? Well, here's the hypocritical 2020 hindsight of that. Going into that Green Bay game, you flipped around and you said, I think they're going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, they beat, I don't know what they did something. And
they beat Washington at the
they looked good at something, and they got the 2 seed.
Okay, but you said, you know what? I'm going to flip my script, and I'm going to go. They're going to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You picked them to go to the Super Bowl before the season. I picked before the season. We're hanging in there. We got our pom-poms out before that game. Did any of the 3 of us think this was a deeply flawed football team? Because I'll be the first to say I did not. I'm talking about deep flawed. I didn't see deep flaws. I thought they were pretty good, maybe very good. If they could play up to their potential.
Yeah, they have flaws.
But you didn't say that. You said they're going to the Super Bowl.
One of the flaws is they didn't have a big back, a powerful back.
All right.
That was a flaw.
But we had seen little bursts from Tony Pollard, who had a breakout year the year before, but he could not come back from what is a career-threatening
defensively, you kept trying to sell me on what's the nose tackle's name? The Was it Mossy?
Mozzie
Smith. You kept trying to tell me he could plug the middle.
First round
He
pick.
could plug the middle. He could plug the middle.
Out of Michigan.
They gashed y'all all year long in the run game. And Aaron Jones came back off an injury.
He did.
And had a field day.
Okay. All right. I got it. But you now you're looking back because you got 20/20 hindsight. But going into that game, you picked Dallas to win that game. We all picked Dallas.
Absolutely picked Dallas.
All right. Just for the record. So if you're the team leader, I need you to own the fact you did not play up to your potential in that game, and I don't need to hear this publicly. If you want to say it privately to Jerry or to Mike McCarthy, whoever you want to tell you, inside, keep it to yourself. But I don't know what good it does to put that out in public, except it sounds like you're making an excuse. Like, well, I did my best, but we just weren't good enough because Jerry didn't plug the holes.
I don't think that he's saying that at all, Skip. I don't think he's making that as an excuse.
I don't think he's saying that.
He's just saying that we need some help. Other teams went and got help.
Right.
You laugh at me about Chase Young and the San Francisco 49ers because Washington said goodbye. Chase Young playing on Sunday in the Super Bowl.
Well, he is.
Okay?
I don't know that he's had a whole lot to do with that.
I was just talking about.
He has had a lot to do. He has had a lot to do. Maybe not statistically, but being there, attacking, holding guys up so that other guys can get free, harassing the quarterback, being around, that goes a long ways.
But it's not okay for Michael. You see what I mean?
What you mean it's not okay for Chase?
You just said Michael has to do more than just being there holding people up. But Chase can just...
No, I did not say Micah. I did not say Micah needs to do more about holding people up.
You said he needs to do more than just hold people. He needs to get through those double teams.
Yes.
He needs to make the plays.
Yes.
But Chase Young... Chase Young doesn't have to make it.
You know why? Because Chase Young is not the leader on that defense. Nick Bosa is. Okay, Micah Parsons is the leader on y'all defense.
Yes.
That's why he needs to do more. Right. Chase Young is a piece. He's just a piece of garnish.
And Mike Parsons is a baby piece. They're still learning. I mean,
Michael, take the cowboy glasses off.
Take
them off, man.
These are the reality glasses.
If you was in that locker room,
Michael Parsons has been all-pro all 3 years.
If you were in that locker room.
So he's doing things. He's playing well. He's playing well.
I never
what he's saying is, we need help. When I talk to you about each game is about gathering information. Each week, you gather that information. You knew what you needed at the trade deadline and what was possibly going to be an issue.
How many years y'all gonna keep gathering information?
So you try to feel that, and that's all I'm doing is explain what Micah Parsons is saying. From the information we gathered, we should make moves to go try to get players at the trade deadline that say, let's boost the areas that you need help from the information you gathered from the games prior to. That's what he's saying. I don't think Micah Parsons is saying, well, I'm not going to play well. I
don't think he's saying that either.
But I'm just saying, you just said Chase Young is okay. Chase Young don't have to get the quarterback with Micah Parsons.
Chase Young is not measured at the same standards. It doesn't matter. His career is being revived right now. Micah Parsons is the face of the Dallas Cowboys defense, Michael. Come on now.
He's all-pro all 3 years. You guys, come on now. Come on. Whoa. You can't be better than all-pro all 3 years.
I'm not talking about...
Do I want better playoff numbers? Do I want better playoff wins? Yes. But we're rolling down a wrong road here trying to kill Michael Parsons when he put us all-pro all 3 years.
It's not killing him. It's explaining, Skip, about the things that he needs to do. Michael, if you was in that damn locker room and he came out there in 4 postseason games and gave you 1 sack and 8 tackles in 4 postseason games, could you only imagine how disgusted you would be driving home on that highway in that convertible Mercedes? Okay,
and let me tell you how that sounds.
Man.
I remember them playing San Francisco, and San Fran only putting up 18, 19 points in one game.
Yeah. It does.
So wait a minute. Ultimately, the bottom line is how many points do they put up, what the defense do. You want to focus on the sacks and all that stuff and the pressures and all that. You can do that. But the bottom line is 19 points in the NFL should be enough to win any game. And he held San Fran to that. So that's all I'm saying. Y'all got to give him credit for the reality of what happened.
I'm going to leave it alone because I ain't going to never win this conversation with you when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys.
It's a discussion, not a conversation, not an argument. It's just a discussion.
I didn't say argument.
I'm just saying, it's just a discussion.
I didn't say argument.
So, Keyshawn,
discussion.
How much did Kevin Byard and Shaq Leonard help the Philadelphia Eagles defense?
Not any at all. Not any at all.
They were even worse than we ended up being.
They didn't help them at all. They went and got two guys that they felt could help the defense. At the same time, they replaced the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Okay, they thought that. It did not help them at all whatsoever. But that's Philadelphia's defense. It's not Dallas's defense. If you bring them guys in on your defense, maybe it boosts your defense because they're in a different scheme, in a different situation, where they're not on two defensive coordinators in 1 year, Skip.
Maybe.
All
right, so back to both of your points. At some point, Micah's going to have to put his money where his mouth is because
Michael don't think so. Okay. Michael Irvin don't think so.
Okay, but
no,
my point is the window was much more open this past season because you had the CD and Micah on these contracts, and you still had Dak on his quote-unquote old contract. And all of a sudden, Jerry Jones is facing three behemoths coming up. Because you got to figure this out, and it's not going to be that easy. It's going to be much harder this offseason to add pieces because you have to make sure about keeping the pieces in place. And they are huge pieces, even though they didn't give you anything in this postseason, right?
And that's why the sale is not necessarily money, but opportunity. You know, you go to the Derrick Henrys or the Mike Evans, and I don't know that they're going to get top dollars, or but you can sell opportunity on them to them. They'll come in and they can be a special part of a special team and help this team get over the hump. That's the opportunity they could enjoy. They can enjoy. I don't care how you're looking at it. Derrick Henry, can you imagine Derrick Henry coming to help the Cowboys?
The reason I don't like
Can you imagine Mike Evans?
The reason I don't like him with this, he almost made me cuss, Skip.
Why is making you curse?
Because you sitting up trying to sell the Dallas Cowboys and tell these dudes to take less money.
Wait.
The Cowboys ain't won a damn Super Bowl in 28 years, Michael. This is not the New England Patriots where they can take pennies on the dollar. Will you stop?
Well, anybody say take pennies on the dollar, but
okay, I call it pennies on the dollar. You call it top dollar. I call it pennies on the dollar because what you're trying to say is join my franchise and my team with hope of getting to a Super Bowl. With the New England Patriots, Skip, they come to you and they say, hey, see 12 over there?
That's what
see 55 and 54 and 24? Come join us.
That's correct.
Because we're going to go to the Super Bowl. That ain't the same. It ain't the same.
I hear you.
No, you hear me. I want you to listen.
So, Keyshawn, you're saying Micah shouldn't take 90 cents on the dollar when he negotiates his next
Man, he
deal?
should get every damn penny.
It ain't about...
every penny.
But what I'm talking about is a veteran guy who says, I don't want to go over here to this team for $25 million. I'll take $20 million and a chance to win games with the Dallas Cowboys. I'll take $22 million. There's guys out there that would.
But I'd rather go to, personally, I'd rather go to San Francisco in the end. I'd rather go to, what?
Those opportunities.
I'd rather go to Cincinnati's in the end, Kansas City's in the end. Why would I want to go to the Cowboys and be home?
Because you talk about them every day on TV.
Michael,
we ain't talking about Cincinnati
Nobody care about that. Them dudes don't care about that.
They do.
You're trying to win a championship.
All of them on social media, they obviously care about that.
I'm trying to win a championship.
We've got to talk about the Cowboy defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. Will he go to Washington as their new head coach? Or will he miss out on yet another big job? Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.